What's going on YouTube? It's Sankey here to make videos on the stock market. Guys, as always, I've got a jam-packed one for you today. But before I get cracking, please check out that link down below. That's Trading 212. Go and grab yourself a free share of stock. Now, it's been an amazing week for our portfolios. Those of you who jumped onto our MVP plays, that's Alpine 4, Ely's Game and Microvision this week, made a lot of money. I've received messages from you guys all throughout the week saying how well those plays are performing, so it's fantastic to hear. And guys, it's the weekend, so we're here to prep and strategize so we dominate next week as well, finishing off 2020 as we mean to start off 2021, because 2021 is going to be a fantastic year in the stock market. There's a lot of opportunity out there and we're going to make sure that we grab that. And how we're going to dominate 2021 is by jumping into the plays I'm going to give you guys over the weekend and next week over here on the YouTube channel, as well as over on the Patreon. And we're also going to ensure that we're maximizing the return potential on our existing plays. So without further ado, let's jump into Alpine 4. Now, Alpine 4 Technologies is turning out to be another one of our amazing growth stories over here on this channel. And I know a lot of you are in this play at the moment. Now, if you're in this play already, the good news is that there's still a lot of money to be made. And if you're not in this play, then don't worry, there's still an opportunity to jump in and start making some fantastic returns with them. So a quick brief on who Alpine 4 Technologies are if you're new to this play, or if you need a refresher, right? They are essentially an investment company, so they go out and acquire different businesses. So they're very different to the current plays in your portfolio. The key thing with them is they seek to vertically integrate these companies and reap the synergistic benefits from that. So I'll give you an example. They acquired what I would call a platform business called Quality Circuit Assembly, which is a manufacturer of printed circuit boards. They then went out and acquired Impossible Aerospace, which is a drone manufacturer who uses the printed circuit boards from Quality Circuit Assembly. Therefore, they are getting cost savings and they're improving their supply chain through that integration of the two companies, right? Now, the powerful thing with Alpine 4 Technologies is they are what I would call a transformer business. They could be whoever they want to be within reason because they can go out and acquire that business. So when it comes to innovation, they are at the forefront because they are acquiring businesses in high growth industries. Another example is in the autonomous driving segment. We know that that is going to be very explosive going into 2021 and beyond. And Quality Circuit Assembly are working with a lot of car manufacturers at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of months we get an exciting update on that. So the big news is that they have announced plans to uplist to the NASDAQ, because currently they're trading on the OTC. So now they're moving up to the big leagues, right? And they're getting the business ready, doing the paperwork. So this takes place the end of January, early February. So I want to run through what that means for the business going forward and what does that mean for us as investors? How do we plan, strategize to ensure that we benefit from this? So the first benefit is now a lot of you will easily be able to go out and buy some stock in Alpine 4 Technologies. I know a lot of you this week struggle to buy Alpine 4 Technologies because they're listed on the OTC, and a lot of your brokerage apps don't allow you to buy stocks listed on the OTC. One thing I will mention though, it is worth going out and finding a broker pretty soon that does allow you to buy stocks listed on the OTC, because by end of January, early February, Alpine 4 Technologies stock price could be a lot higher than it is right now, and you don't want to miss out. Now, the second benefit to Alpine 4, and this is a huge one, is that they're going to have access to better funding terms. Now that they're going to be listed on a big stock exchange, it's going to give their business a lot more credibility, but also there's going to be a lot more access to publicly available information, right? We're talking financials and company information. And this is going to help their business in a number of ways. One is that they're going to be able to get debt financing at a much cheaper interest rate. So they're going to be paying less each and every month than they used to, which is going to help their profitability. Then you've also got to remember that the key business model with Alpine 4 is that they go out and acquire businesses. And one of the tools that they use to acquire that business is debt financing, which they're going to be able to get at a much cheaper rate. So it's going to help their business massively. Now, following on from that, the third benefit is that it's going to increasingly help with their acquisitions, because not only can they use debt financing to go and acquire businesses, but they can also use their stock now. Because they're listed on that stock exchange, their stock has leverage when they go to acquire a business. So this is what we want to see as investors in this play, because ultimately we want to see Alpine 4 going out there and acquiring lots of different businesses to vertically integrate with their platform businesses. The fourth benefit is now there's going to be research coverage initiated on Alpine 4 Technologies stock. This is going to benefit in many different ways. One, we as investors can now read and see what the analysts are forecasting for the business. There's going to be price targets, there's going to be business outlooks, right? And that's going to help us base our future investment decisions on Alpine 4, but also it's going to act as a potential catalyst to boost that share price up further. You guys know I've done a video on what happens to the NEO share price each time an analyst comes out with a forecast on NEO and provides their business outlook, right? The same is going to apply to Alpine 4 Technologies. If there's a positive outlook on the stock, that stock price is going to inch up further and further, and that's exactly what we want. The fifth is that it's going to increase the visibility of Alpine 4 Technologies stock. Now, this stock wasn't on a lot of people's radar because they were listed on the OTC. There's going to be a lot of fund managers, investment managers out there who only invest in stocks listed on big stock exchanges. So this is going to improve dramatically the liquidity of the stock. They're going to receive a lot more capital as a result if they continue to perform well in their business. This is going to be good for us early investors because it's going to push that share price up and increase our returns, right? They can also use the stock exchange for shareholder meetings and events, and this is also good because it's going to give exposure to investors. So this is exactly what we want, and ultimately all of this is going to improve long-term shareholder value in Alpine 4 Technologies. So now that we know the benefits to Alpine 4 Technologies of this uplifting, the question is, what do we do if we're currently in this play, if we're thinking about jumping into this play? So up on screen is the Alpine 4 Technologies share price graph. I want to highlight immediately the potential volatility in this play. So intraday, just a couple of days ago, this stock dropped over 15%, right? And I do think going forward, you should expect volatility of about 15 to 20% at any given time, right? And this would take that share price down to $2.45. So if you're a conservative investor, if you don't have too much room for risk in your current portfolio, I would say a good entry price is $2.45, right? You can wait for that share price to cool off. Now, the other side, if you can handle a bit more risk, right? I would say there's a lot more room for this stock to grow. Now, why do I say that? Because right now this stock has a market cap of $350 million. They have sales of 35 million. You guys know I always talk about relative valuation. This gives them a price to sales of 10 times, right? And for a rapidly growing business, I do not think this is an expensive stock right now. A lot of our EV plays, some of your EV plays, your Blink Charging, your QuantumScapes, right, have run up to the point where they're over 100 times price to sales. Now, these are not comparable businesses, but just to put it into perspective of how expensive a stock can get. Now, so I do think there's a lot of room for this stock to run up. Now, I think that they can easily get to a price to sales of around 15 times, right? Easily. And this would take them to a market cap of over 500 million, right? Just over 500 million. And this would give them a share price of about $4.20. So I do see this running up to over $4 in the short term. So and this would give you over a 30% return on what the current share price is. So in terms of what I'm doing, I'm waiting for that opening bell on Monday, and this is the plan, right? If the stock drops on the opening bell, I'm going to wait for that stock to drop between 5 to 10%, and then I'm going to execute and get some more stock in Alpine 4 Technologies, because I do think there will be a bounce back after the stock drops, because I do think it is relatively cheap at the moment considering their growth potential. Now on the flip side, if I see that stock rising, I'm going to try and get in below $3.20, right? $3.20 to $3.30. I'm going to get going to load up my position and get some stock in Alpine 4 Technologies, because there could be a further run up on Monday, right? It's hard to call exactly right now what's going to happen. The stock could drop because there could be downwards volatility, or it could be rise off the back of investors still excited by this uplisting to the NASDAQ happening at the end of January. So that's two options for you guys. If you can't handle risk, there's not room for risk in your portfolio, $2.45 is a good entry. If you can handle risk, try and get in below $3.30, because this will give you some good upside to $4. Because of the recent run up in Alpine 4 Technologies stock, this does carry a lot of risk, right? It can drop 15-20% in any given day. As I said, you should be prepared for that. Those of you over at the Patreon will know that Alpine 4 Technologies is less than 2% of my entire portfolio. So if this drops 20-30% on the day, it's not going to have any impact on my portfolio because I'm well diversified, right? I'm still trying to maximize my gains in Alpine 4 Technologies. Now, a lot of you would have already made, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100% return on Alpine 4 Technologies from when I introduced them to you first and you jumped in. So by reinvesting some of those profits, right, on Monday, depending on if it drops or if you want to potentially ride the wave in Alpine 4 Technologies up to $4, could be a good option, right? You can reinvest those gains and make even more gains and build out your position in Alpine 4 Technologies, because this is a stock that has a lot of future potential and a lot of room to grow. So if you've been rocking with the channel for a while now, you know what time of the day is. It's question of the day time. Now, this question comes from a Patreon. Hewan wants to know, I'm new to investing. I only have $4,000. Can you guide me with that amount to have a good year? So thank you very much for sending in this question. And I must say, it's so good to see so many new investors reaching out to me, because it is honestly one of the best decisions you can make, and it will set you up for a fantastic future. So over here on this channel, each and every day I give you guys the blueprint to have success in the stock market. Now, to get fantastic returns for your portfolio, guys, you need to be doing three main things, right? The first is that you need to be investing consistently. So take Alpine 4, for example. There's no point just investing $100 in Alpine 4 on Monday and just leaving it and not doing anything with it. The idea is to invest consistently into stocks, right? And that is how you are going to take your portfolios to the next level, because your returns compound. The more you have, the more money you make over time. So the best thing you can do is to set aside a portion of money each and every week, each and every month, that you invest into the stock market regularly, and this is going to build long-term wealth, and your future self is going to thank you for doing that. The second thing you should be doing is maximizing your returns in your existing plays. That's what this video is all about. A lot of us are in Alpine 4 Technologies at the moment. That share price is due to rise, and we want to make sure we load up at the right time to enjoy those returns in our portfolios. Now, you can maximize the returns of your existing plays in two ways. One is by buying the dip, and the second is loading up before a catalyst. So for example, a lot of us have been loading up on NEO while it's been consolidating, right? That is the strategy with that play, because when it pops and surpasses 55, 60 and beyond, we're already going to have our position baked in, and we're just going to enjoy those gains as it rises. Now, the second, as I mentioned, is loading up before a catalyst. Guys, I always give you guys catalysts on our different plays. The most recent, for example, was Apple, right? And Nike as well. So Nike before their earnings, and I told you guys Apple was consolidating. Now, if you missed that, if you didn't load up, then you have missed out on the 5% gains that both of those stocks had. So it's important to load up before a catalyst and buy the dip to ensure that you're maximizing the returns in your existing plays. The third thing you guys want to be doing is correctly diversifying your portfolios. Now, I give you guys plays to jump into each and every week here on the YouTube channel and over at the Patreon, which is going to help you do just that. Diversify and limit your risk, covering a variety of different stocks from mega cap all the way down. Now, some of the stocks that I might give you guys might have a price tag of $200, and a few of you have actually reached out and said that it's too expensive. But guys, do remember, with a couple of brokerages, you can actually buy fractional shares, which is something I'd advise you guys to do, right? Because some of these stocks are very stable, they grow each and every year, and they deliver for their investors over the long term, and that is exactly what you want in your portfolios, because ultimately we are trying to create wealth over here, and if we can, generational wealth. By this I mean your kids could be eating out of your portfolio, even your grandkids could be eating out of your portfolios. If you just apply these three methods over time, you guys are going to be set for success. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Please hit a like, it really helps the channel out. Do check out all the links down below. And as I always say to you guys, the stock market is rapidly moving, so do check into the channel each and every day so you never ever miss a beat. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.